Hey. We're here. And I'm
We're
in a different
back.
There we go. I can act.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah. We're back.
We are.
I'm not used to sitting like this. I have to look over my shoulder because I'm used to looking at Hikya.
Y'all.
Yeah. It's been a day.
It has been a day. Oh my gosh.
I got to tell off an ex-boss. I got to do the one thing that a lot of Americans wanted to do forever, and it was glorious.
That's always good when karma actually shows herself when you're there.
Oh, yeah. Especially when their face drops. It's the best when they're like, oh, so you still with that one place? I never went. I quit because you guys passed me up for management.
So there, man.
And you guys got fucked over. Big time. The best part is when they admit to it. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, you shouldn't have.
Oh, yeah.
So we're back. So I'm Hexus Daemon. This is Akia Daemon, and that is Mother de la Mort. I had to look down at your name for some odd reason, and I don't know why, like at all.
You forgot who I was.
that old age just kicked in there for a second. So also we have the Patron thing, if you want to talk about that.
Yes, we have a super announcement. So we have a new patron that came in at the $5 Bunnies of Chaos cohort level. So we would like to say thank you, Adam Easterling, for being our newest patron subscriber and member. So thank you.
Did we say who it was for a second?
Alan Easterling.
Alan
Easterling. Yes.
What did I need to share real fast? I'm sorry.
We can't switch back.
I'm sorry. We can do it during the commercial.
I tell you what I will share today, and I really felt like coming on here with like my tinfoil hat. Did you guys, when y'all were looking into this subject, did y'all find it hard to find information? Like I could have swore there was a wiki on this. I couldn't find it anywhere.
What was it? Last week when we were talking about it, we found a lot of stuff on Corpsewood, like a lot, and then all of a sudden, it's gone. And the Wikipedia takes you to the lawyer who bought it, and it's literally just a paragraph, and that's it. There's not much on it.
Me and Aki were talking about this the other day, and guys, put down there in the comments. I know we're going to go through the comments here in a minute. If we are just losing our mind, or if you guys have noticed, it seems like, putting on my conspiracy hat, that things are getting wiped from the internet.
They are. The subject that we were originally going to be talking about last week on Roots We Read. I remember watching a video as it was happening. And it was about Sophie Sweeney, or Sweeney rather, who is a hunter. She's an avid hunter. She's a model. She's a cute, beautiful blonde. And she gets a lot of stalkers. And the whole storyline was that these two meth heads were the one girl who was not as attractive as Sophie Sweeney had been convinced that she was a meat suit carrying the real Sophie Sweeney, and therefore they were going to unalive the real Sophie Sweeney and take her over so that the one girl who supposedly was the real one and in a meat suit could actually transfer over to that meat suit.
Wait, so they were going to kill?
They were going to steal her meat suit.
Oh, okay. I got confused there for a second. I was like, wait, guys, it doesn't work that way. You can't. They
were going to kill her and take over the meat suit.
But I'm saying
that's playing way too many video games for some people.
In my stoned head right now, I was like, you're going to kill the meat suit that you're saying the person is in the meat suit and then put their soul back in that same meat suit. I was like, that doesn't work that way, meth heads.
No. They were going to kill Sophie Sweeney.
Yeah.
and take over her body with the girl that was in the meat suit who was supposedly the real one. Now, I searched everywhere for it. And even when I was looking it up and I gave some information, I typed some information into something. And when I looked at the notes, I had written up the wrong Sophie Swaney story and the wrong meat suit story. And it's
like
funny
there's multiple meat suit stories out there.
Apparently. And the interesting part was I couldn't remember why I'd put that into my notes originally because I wasn't thinking about it. I was like, oh, hey, this is on the top of my list. Let me just grab some information, doing a little research, and just type up everything I have and put it into order. And then when I got there and started re-looking over it, I noticed that it wasn't even the original story because the original story started coming back to me as to why I had listed it as a note, like as like a subject matter. And so I started doing research, looking everywhere for this. Could not find it anywhere. And I thought I was going insane. Maybe I had imagined it. Maybe, this was something else. No, I finally went over to the real Sophie Swaney and she had made a post about a stalker that was getting arrested at her house that had come to her house.
That's the one you sent me.
She said, at least he's not as creepy as the meat suit guy. And I was like, see, motherfuckers.
Well, and I know with AI and all this kind of stuff, I know that there's a lot of companies that are starting to come out that can help you remove stuff off the internet that you don't want, such as like private information and different things like that. I get that. But, and again, I feel like you said, I felt like I was going insane because it happened with the research last night and it happened with the research today on two completely different subjects. And I was like, okay, last week when I started the notes and information for Horror Gallery for tomorrow night, I know there was stuff. Like I remember stuff, like you said, and you could not find it. And I don't know if this is Google. Like I tried going to other like search engines and different things like that, and it kept pulling up the same crap. And it was
Bing and DuckDuckGo and all of it.
It's nuts. And then if you go into Amazon, try going and looking for some sort of academic book, whether it's on history and it more like niche history. And most of the books are out of print now. Like Amazon doesn't carry them. You can't find them anywhere. And the ones that you can get are hundreds of dollars. And I'm sitting here going, books were so cheap 3 years ago.
Ivar went to buy the Green Book of Douche because I had showed it to him and he really liked the book. And I was saying, this is one of my favorite books. I would totally recommend it.
We bought it twice.
We bought it twice. I bought it once when I was in college from one of those college book fairs. I happened to find it on a whim and I got it for like $5 or $6, maybe even $4.
Right.
And then when I ordered it off of Amazon a couple years ago, I got it for like $5. Ivar found it the same exact year, the same exact color, because there's multiple covers. It was $246.
Yeah.
My pop-up book of phobias is like that. It's like $200 for a 6-page pop-up book of phobias.
You know what's going on a lot right now? I think a lot of people with how inflation and how expensive stuff is, with things like the Green Book of Douche. What's it called again? The actual name of it?
Herbs and Things.
Herbs and Things. People are starting to look more for like home remedies and stuff like that. So the demand for that book, and especially with it being out of print, isn't it out of print, right?
She's done different reprints of it, and they've done like, so the one I have is from, I believe, 72 or 74, and then there's another reprint from about 76, and there's one from 79. And then I do believe that there might be more recent reprints that I haven't seen, but I know the book by the cover, obviously. And so mine was the green book with purple trees. And then there's another reprint that's the purple book with green trees.
Yeah.
And it's the same exact book. It cracks me up because you go from here's a bunch of, A to Z remedies from plants. And then it goes into, eating better or birth control or douche.
Douche control.
It's got some really wild
right
ones in there. Like it wouldn't
And
be the
then-
book of douche if it wasn't the book of douche.
Right. But my favorite, I would think, has to be how you go from that to this is how you summon the devil.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But honestly, this is my conspiratorial belief on this. I think they're trying to stupid people.
Hi, Sven.
Oh, yeah. Sven's here.
I
Get the
think they're
comments
trying
in
to
a little
dumb
bit.
people down. If you can't
Oh, I
find the
think so.
information on the internet and you can't get books, what you gonna do?
It's 100%. It's not
Hi,
even
Tia.
plausible. I believe that's what's going on here. So,
Mhm.
uh,
So that's my rant of the day.
yeah. Let's get to comments real fast. And real fast before we get to comments, guys. We are doing a bonus episode on our Patreon. All you got to do right now,
It's gonna be fun.
go over there and subscribe to the Patreon for $1. It's $1 a month. And we're gonna have bonus content after this episode ends for all the other platforms.
Yeah,
With the
$5
exception of-
platform, you get the expanded episode.
With the exception of the one platform, Patreon, you guys can go over there and watch it and everything. The entire full episode too. That's another thing too. You subscribe to the Patreon, you get the full episode. You don't have to switch back and forth. And yeah. so yeah, go subscribe, buy our shit.
Go check it out. Plus, you guys are helping us on the back end so that we can keep doing this and be able to start bringing you like some really cool like content. Not that our content's not cool; it's uber cool, but like uber cool.
It's awesome. It's awesome content. And unlike Zuckerdouche, when you pay Patreon,
we actually get it.
We actually get the money. The money goes back into the episodes, goes back into the collective, and yeah. And you get cool stuff out of it.
I want to read Sven's comments because I want.
I'll bring it. I'll bring it up right now.
No, I want to try. But no, go to from the top.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah, guys. Also, too, if you see Hexus commenting in here, it's actually Akia. And if you see Akia commenting here, it's actually me because we've switched spots. And I was giggling at that earlier. I was like, "Oh shit, everything is logged in on my laptop."
If you see me commenting in there, I have no earthly idea who that is.
I'm sorry, her laptop. And that's the funniest thing right there. I use her laptop. She uses my PC. like actually, I think it's funny that you use my PC more than I do, and I use your laptop. Yeah.
Look, we need to keep the ABCD government entities on their toes.
Here, I'm going to show one thing off since I decided to switch locations earlier.
I'm happy that all my stuff belongs to my wife here.
So you'll understand later, but I have wisteria on my face.
Wisteria.
Wisteria.
All right. So Nadine, hello. Nadine's here, and Hexus yeah is saying hi to Nadine. Tia's here, and then Sven. Sven is
Sven,
the cheese man.
All right.
I see evening, and then I see Guten Abend.
Guten Abend, and then
Bussy, which is kiss kiss.
Bussy means something else over here in America, though.
Yeah, no, not bussy.
You get that bussy dog. And
I
then
probably said it wrong, but.
And then you want to pronounce that? Wait a second. It's coming. Hold on. It's coming up. It's coming up.
Wow, this froze.
There it goes.
I don't use this damn thing. Okay, Guten Abend. Kamera den im Geiste?
I don't know. All I know is Shasta.
And then I can say this one, douche control. Yeah, we need that. We got a douche coming up from Southern California, being a douche.
Penis!
Douche
Penis.
of the douchest.
Oh. Honestly, never mind.
No, go ahead.
No.
Get it out. He can go fuck himself.
I wasn't even going to say that. I was going to say, come on back. But no, because that is not, I don't actually want that. I was joking. And if you do come back, I will practice my, right to bear arms.
Yeah. And we got Dizzy's here.
Pew pews.
Pew.
Dizzy says hello.
Hey, Dizzy.
Dutch oven for all. Dutch oven for all. I was thinking. I read Dutch oven,
Wait.
and then my brain goes control. I was about to say that.
I actually said it right.
Food juice.
No, I actually said the Kameranden im Geiste.
I was just thinking how the Germans pronounce hospital or something like that. It was in like Krakenhaken or something like that.
You just always have to sound angry.
Krakenwagen
But
is
if you sound
ambulance.
angry, it will sound right.
Hey, we were talking to Sven the other day.
I'm just kidding, Finn.
Like
Krakenwagen is actually an ambulance.
we were talking to Sven. What was it yesterday about things that were going on and stuff and his life and everything and he sent us voice text and I sound just like him when I do my German accent.
You do not. Not even close. Nowhere near it.
We both sound like we're asking for papers.
No,
I'm kidding, Sven. I'm kidding.
Sven has a very deep voice.
Mm-hmm.
Like a very deep voice.
Yep, very deep voice.
Food juice means wine.
Food juice.
And hairy nipples.
Hairy nipples.
This says, thank goodness for subtitles. I'm now deaf in my ear.
Oh no.
Is it for me screaming in fake German? Or?
I just bumped my tooth on your mic.
Scheiße.
Scheiße.
My mic has padding on it. This one has no padding on it, but I sound.
Stop trying to suck my mic off.
I'm just trying to feel my feelings, bro. Dog.
Did you call when you
Bam-a-lam ding dong. I swear to God, we have a topic tonight somewhere.
We do.
You're supposed to call when you're allowed to feel your own feelings.
Can you tell we didn't find that many notes on our topic? I'm kidding.
The notes are right there on the word thing.
Yeah. Oh, I was just saying hi to people real fast.
No.
Rob Lily's here. That way,
Hey,
I take
Rob!
pictures of whatever of what everything. Oh, sorry, of everything. Sorry.
I missed something that he said. So
Where did he? Oh, I think that's it. Rob Lilly was here.
let me go over here. Anyway,
Hairy nipples.
hairy nipples.
And then Dizzy says, "No, I'm honestly deaf. Have been for almost 4 years.
For
Only
days.
one ear works.
4 days.
4 years. I messed up. Sven, deep throat. Yes,
I'm sorry,
Do you have an ear infection right now,
Dizzy,
baby?
that your one ear's not working.
Yep, no, we're not gonna have the deaf community come after us, not one bit.
Okay, I will teach you one thing in sign language right now. Ready? Hold on, if I could stop this from doing that. Ready?
Are you getting ready to shoot somebody a bird?
She's
No,
about
seriously.
to paper
You
rock
put your hand
scissors.
like this. Put your hand like this and go, help me. Help me. Hi, help me.
She is being held captive for this podcast right now.
I'm being legit.
I know.
But isn't this like the universal sign for danger?
No, that's a universal sign for Charlie Manson.
That's the universal sign.
I thought on like what is it, Team America? That was the universal sign for danger. Here's a hammer.
I'm pretty sure that's Muppets.
For the audio side of things, we are throwing our hands up like we don't care.
Whoop, whoop.
All right. No good segue into the notes. I guess we'll just,
my freaking headphones right now.
I'm sorry. Let me do this. Is that better?
No, it's your voice. It's okay.
I'm sorry. Wow.
Hey, Ellen!
Guess I'm sleeping on the couch tonight.
He missed the announcement. Oh,
Alan, we announced you as
we did.
Being our first Patreon subscriber, which is awesome.
That sounds dirty.
Yeah.
You're gonna get some special treatment, Alan. I'll tell you what. Okay, word. Here we go. Am I reading notes or are you reading this?
I can read if you prefer.
Yeah, we'll take turns.
Okay.
Oh, now I get to interrupt everybody.
Yes, you get to be me.
You get to be the peanut gallery. All right, guys. So tonight we're talking about Corpsewood Manor. I don't know if I'm assuming probably most people here have heard of it. But
We hadn't actually, so
I didn't
Really?
hear about it until we were
we had no clue about it.
that one phone call. What was it, about 2 weeks
Oh.
ago?
Yeah,
And
this was
we
like,
legit didn't.
this like, I don't wanna say I have close ties to this, that sounds like somebody needs to come talk to me, you know, but, no, I mean, this occurred in the small town where a lot of my family members live. So, I have a lot of back information about it, but yeah, we were talking about it, um, and that's what kinda brought up the subject, but we're gonna be talking about Corpsewood Manor tonight and the Corpsewood murders. So, Corpsewood Manor, such a name seemed ripped from the pages of a horror novel, yet yet Corpsewood Manor is all too real. In December of 1982, Charles Shutter and his partner Joseph Odom were brutally murdered in their manor home. Now, Dr. Charles Shutter came from a wealthy family and worked as a professor of pharmacology at Chicago's Loyola University, and he really stated it was a really good job. He enjoyed it, and described that those who knew, or they described him, those who knew him, as brilliant and polished and soft spoken but confident. Now, I was pronounced his name wrong. Scudder eventually grew fed up with the city life, and in 1976 left the luxury of his Chicago mansion in pursuit of a simpler life.
You know, that there's a old video of a guy
Hmm.
who documented his life, when he gave up his everyday job and just
Hmm.
and this is like back in the 50s or something like that. And he went out there with at the time it was a brand new colorized camera
Hmm.
that he would just have running, and he was the first. It's almost like he was like the first TikToker who like homesteaded his life and stuff like that. Like he
Well,
went
that's
out
what
there.
they did.
Yeah,
Scudder and Odom. They pretty much left all their worldly possessions behind.
he went out there to Alaska and just
Hmm.
gave up everything, and for like 30 years, he died when he was 88. And
Right.
for 30 years, he just lived his life like that, documented everything, took meticulous notes in his journal, and then when he when it started, the winter started getting too hard for him when he was in his
Hmm.
80s. He just moved on from the property, gave the property to the state and for the parks, and
Hmm.
the Alaskan parks literally had a deal with him to where he could just move back there whenever he wanted, or not move back but come back and stay whenever he wanted. He had free reign of the place, and it's still there to today. I can't think of the guy's name.
I know what you're talking about, and I can't either. But I know exactly what you're talking about.
I used to
Um.
watch stuff like that, and I think I saw
Hmm.
some of his videos like on Sunday mornings when they didn't have after the terrible cartoons went off, because the good cartoons were on Saturday mornings.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and that was. I mean, I know that homesteading is kind of becoming a thing again, but that was really big back in the '70s, the
Oh
late
yeah,
'60s and '70s, kind of tapering off towards the end of the '70s, um, as things kind of tended to. I don't know. We went through that whole modernization. Microwaves were coming out, video games were coming out, people were getting cable, all that kind of stuff, and you saw kind of a dwindle of that, or at least down in this area. And I do want to say, guys, what we're going over this time period, we were closer to the McMartin incident than we are to the Memphis 3 incident. So we're
yeah,
still really heavily, especially down here in the Bible Belt at that time. I mean, it was truly what you would consider the Bible Belt.
yeah.
Um, Satanic Panic was still like a thing that people really, really thought uh, was
It's
true.
it's crazy to think that the Satanic Panic in some parts over there, in the Bible Belt is still going on. Like they legit still
Some,
believe.
but a lot of people like to
Yeah.
joke about how backwards the South is. Really
Oh yeah.
not.
No,
You
no,
know,
I'm not saying the South is backwards, but I'm saying
we
there
used
are
to be.
some. Yeah. Oh, where I'm at right now in Bakersfield. It used to be real backwards, and
Hmm.
not anymore.
Yeah.
People kind of just
It pretty backwards, but in a different way now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So, some of this might sound a little weird, but just context of history, that's kind of where we're at right now with everything that was going on. And
This is
some
one
of
of
it
those.
might sound silly. So,
This is one of those episodes we probably should have covered back during when we were doing the Satanic Panic. But I'm kind of glad we didn't, because now we don't have those other two in here anymore. Because this is
yeah,
just us
exactly,
covering an awesome
exactly.
topic.
So, but they wound up leaving all their worldly possessions behind, and they moved down here to the south. And Joe Odom, he was more of like a hands-on guy, where Scudder was more of like, I don't want to say the brains of the operation. He was more intellectual. Odom, from what I understand, was more physical, as far as hands-on crafting and things like that. And Odom wound up, for the most part, uh, building the residence out there at Corpsewood by hand. And
That's
it was a very unique structure because it was round. Um, and this is just from information that I know from family members living in that area. Because we actually we know Bobby Lee Cook. I mean, he's passed away now, but
yeah.
he was like a friend of our family. So there was a lot of things that after the fact we found out about. But
The one thing they
the
do
house
have up,
was round because they believed that with a round structure, demons couldn't trap you in a corner.
the crazy thing, you can go look up the pictures of the property. I did see pictures of it. And they
Hmm.
have actually detailed pictures of it, which is actually pretty neat. And yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's
it's a neat place.
it literally looks like a satanic chapel out of the like just something you would see like in like Transylvania. It's neat. It's
Hmm.
actually really, really neat.
Well, and even Scudder, like he referred to it as their mortuary. Like he saw it as more of like a mausoleum type home than he did, or castle, than he did like your traditional home.
Yeah.
So, and one of the reasons they wound up calling it Corpsewood Manor is because when they moved there, it was during the autumn time, and the area there's a lot of like oak trees and different things like that. So they really dotted the area. So at the time, like all the trees were bare, and so they wound up calling it Corpsewood.
Yeah, just don't go too deep when you look at Corpsewood, because I found a lot of pictures of old men. I'm just kidding.
Well, and Somerville, which is, I mean, Taylor's Ridge, that's where the property is located. Somerville is like, if you're coming from Rome, Georgia down, I want to say it's 27, you're going to come out, like you're coming from Rome, Georgia, and everything's like pasture land. And of course, you've got the mountains and stuff around you, but you kind of slingshot out of that right onto a ridge. Like you can look down, and that area used to scare me to death when I was little because there's an underground spring, and so the road that kind of slingshots you out of the mountains, and it's like a curve, and it's just a drop off. The road would slowly sink because it was being eroded from the bottom. So I'm not kidding you. That section of the highway
Oh,
probably has 20 feet of asphalt on it because every year they were having to like add more asphalt because the road was sinking. So it's a terrifying area. But you would come down into Somerville, and then you would have to go west, like you were taking a back way to Chattanooga, and go through a couple of other little towns in order to get to the road, to actually get back up on the ridge into the
yeah.
section where their property was.
We have a ridge like that here in Kern County. They it's over in Tehachapi, and if you don't slow down, you will fly off into the
Mhm.
prison. There's a prison at the bottom of the ridge, and you will literally even with the guardrails up, you will break through it because you're going up, and you want to pick up you want to gun it, and then
Mhm.
you'll Dukes of Hazard it, and you'll land a good few hundred feet below. You won't make it.
Oh
into the
yeah,
prison.
it's scary. Like even when I go there now, like I still have, even though I understand, like it doesn't seem as high as it used to me when I was really little. It's still scary the way you slingshot out of there and go right into a curve, and you're just like right there on the side of a cliff. I mean,
Yeah.
it's scary.
That really, when you come up on those cliffs like that, you really
Hmm.
feel the gravity, like gravity
Oh
pulling
yeah.
you down. And the gravity's like, no, we want you down here. And like, no, I'll die.
No, 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 no. I just want to stay right here on this road.
No, I'm good. I'm gonna stay right. That's the same feeling I get when I look over, when you're really high up and you look down, and it just, you feel it. You're like, no, you feel
Yeah.
those intrusive thoughts. And then you're like,
Oh
I
yeah.
can't fly. No, you're not doing this.
No, no. I don't have the call of the void that bad.
I get it a lot. I'm like, no.
What would
I
happen
don't
if
have the call of the
I
void, but
dot
I have
dot
the
dot?
call to send people to the void.
The void. You are banished to the void. The void is like 500 feet down. Yeah, that's not my problem. You're banished.
I have the urge to send a lot of people that are driving around here to the void.
To the
Yeah.
void. See, that would make the mayor Pickwick very happy.
Oh, yeah. More souls. More stuff. All right.
So back to the
Back to
subject.
the note.
So they hand built the house, which was, like I said, it's a big round structure that looked almost like I don't want to say is it a turret? What is that section of a castle that's rounded?
It's the rounded section of
It's
the
got a
castle.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like when you would see the
It's not a.
square
Is it a rook?
castles that have the round sections on the end. It looked like just one of those. What it looked like.
Is it called a rook? Because isn't that what that is? Or what's that?
Maybe.
What's that chess piece? The chess piece is a rook, I think, isn't it? So it's got to be. Or what is that? The one that can move up and back and to the side to side.
That is, I think that is a rook.
Yeah, it could
Yeah.
be. I think that's what it's called.
It might be called a rook.
We'll go with that.
So anyway, so they wound up building that. That's where they live. That's the area that they lived in. But they also built and added on to like different structures, and one of them was a 3-story chicken house. Yes, a 3-story chicken house.
Were they worried about
The
floods?
first, what?
Were the chickens worried about floods or something?
Well, we're gonna get to it. So the first floor was, of course, for the chickens, the poultry, the food storage. The second level of the chicken house was for canned goods, as well as the couple's large pornography collection.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with him. I would put it in the second story too, because you don't want to walk all
And
the way up the stairs with a heart on and stuff. You want to go only halfway up, but you also don't want the bears to get to it either.
Well, and looking at pictures, and I'm sorry, I know we've got gallows humor. We can't help it. We're not trying to be disrespectful. We're just going with gallows humor. They really had some like need for like phallus like object, because the house was like a phallus object, and it was round, but the chicken house was a phallus object, but it was square. So the
Can I
top
ask
room,
they
go ahead.
they were practicing like Satanists, not the
They were, yeah, they were.
were taking virgins and sacrificing. They were Leviathans, right? Or
Right. They
Leviathan
actually, Scudder was a member of the church,
of Satan.
Satanic Church, and
Yeah.
there are rumors that LeVay actually visited out there a couple of times. And he did send Scudder like a happy 56th and birthday card.
I would
So
say
he was pretty in with the Church of Satan.
I would say this right now. Anton LaVey can sit with us. I would have so much fun talking to him. He seemed like such a nice guy. I know he did a lot of messed up stuff, but it was all consensual.
Well, and this is the thing. This is the
too.
thing that you've got to understand too. Like, look at the insanity that went on with the McMartins. That was out in California, for God's sake.
Oh yeah, we forget. We need to mention that again. The Satanic Panic officially started in Kern County, here in California, of all places. And you
saw how big that was, and the same with the West Memphis 3. Like, people were losing their minds. So you can only imagine the heads exploding with these people.
Oh yeah, I could feel it because I saw it firsthand how it was here, and even back then, California was always known as the progressive. In the '80s too, it was also California was Republican land, but it was also very progressive too. It always
Mhm.
has been. And
Mhm.
Right, Nathan? Sorry.
what did Nadine say?
Oh,
And
you
North
mean
Georgia was not progressive at all. Like, you still had unfortunately, you still had sundown towns in sections
Yeah.
of North, Georgia and Alabama, so,
Oh, I could
yeah,
imagine. My family's from Arkansas. We went back to visit one time, and family's
yeah,
nice, but there was some. They were like, "Don't go over there, even with your
yeah,
California plates and stuff. Stay with us."
yeah. So it was kind of like a mixture of you weren't surprised. I mean, it's sad, but you weren't surprised when something like this happened because
Yeah.
people were probably losing their shit. Um, Now on the top of the chicken house, on their third floor, it was referred to as the pink room, or also known as Chicka Wow Wow, the pleasure chamber,
Oh, I thought they would put
and
the
it was painted
chickens on
pink.
the
Yeah,
top so that way the eggs would come down, like
the
that,
chickens were at the bottom. They just
and
heard
then
all
the
the noise.
pink room would be on the bottom, and then that would be part of the. Well, you get what I'm getting at, right? Wouldn't
Now,
that be awesome? Just the bell rings and it's like, oh, guys, time to go out to
ding.
the pink room. Time to go through some satanic porn stuff.
Would you have to be like Veruca Salt and start singing that song, I Want It Now?
Oh, that just got really porno-y right there. just, just the adult Veruca Salt. Well, there's the band.
There's the band. I always thought the name Veruca Salt was just pretty awesome.
I loved it. I still love it. I love Veruca Salt the band. I loved it too simply because of
Yeah.
the name. Then I like the music too.
Yeah. So Scudder's gay relationship was far from the only secret he was keeping. Again, like we talked about just a minute ago, he was also an official member of the Church of Satan. Now Scudder's work was not that of, and you're gonna
Here
probably
we
giggle a
go.
little bit over this, was not that of the typical academic. For
Well,
one, he performed government-funded experiments with mind-altering drugs like LSD.
oh, he was right there with
Uh,
Michael Aquino and stuff like that.
yeah. Um,
Oh, this is gonna get deep.
yeah, it's about to. Meanwhile, he dyed his hair purple and also kept a pet monkey. Now,
Did he
North
get it from
Georgia
Jim
is
Jones?
heads exploding everywhere.
Please tell me he got it
Um,
from Jim Jones, the monkey, because Jim Jones was a door-to-door salesman, a door-to-door monkey salesman. He legit was.
Now, when he left La Loya for Corpsewood Manor, he took a few souvenirs with him, including 2 human skulls and about 12,000 doses of LSD.
Natalie, can I stop you real fast? I want to bring up
You
PJ's
absolutely
comment.
can.
One, hello, PJ. Uh-oh, my mouse stopped working. Give me a second here. Sorry. Give 1 second. 1 second. Here we go.
Huh?
Hello, PJ. And then he brings this up, and I think that was drugs. That's Nadine. Drugs.
Drug. Big time government drug.
He says, yeah, heading to OKC, we passed 3 sundown
That was in
towns.
response to something I said.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I was actually
Wow.
about right when you said
This
sundown
was like,
towns, I was about to bring up Quran because he and I were talking about how he actually maps his traveling because of sundown towns, just to be aware of where they are during the traveling. And they
Right.
actually passed through, as shown there, 3 different sundown towns
wow.
That's
on
terrifying.
the way back from OKC last year.
Karan, if you come to California and you stay with us or anything like that, you don't have to map anything out like that in California. I promise you, you don't. There might be some bad areas, but you don't. You literally can drive anywhere you want here. That is insane.
Well, and to be honest, at least the section of Georgia that I live in like
Yeah.
mid to northern Georgia. I don't know about southern Georgia, honestly, but I haven't seen a sundown town in ages.
I can
Now, I'm not
imagine
saying they don't exist. I just have not seen one.
Georgia's the birthplace of Yeah, civil rights. That's where Dr. King is from. And am I right? Yeah, he's from Atlanta,
That or
right?
Alabama. Yeah. Well, I think
No, maybe
that
it's Alabama. But that's where the
Alabama, Georgia, yeah, there was a lot, and Mississippi.
Yeah, but Tennessee is the birthplace of something else
it's something really bad
in
and fuck
Pulaski,
them.
Tennessee.
Mm.
Yeah, no,
And
that,
yes, you do have to come visit us.
yeah, you got to come visit us. But yeah, Georgia, I can imagine Georgia being pretty progressive now because yeah, I was thinking about it. That's the birthplace of civil rights. There was a lot of stuff going on in the '60s and stuff like that, but now it's probably pretty good, even all over the place.
Well, I'll
So,
be honest with you. The first time I ever saw anybody actually using a mule and a plow was in Philadelphia, right outside of Philadelphia.
was it Amish?
No,
Wait, just a broke farmer had to sell the
because that's what
tractor.
I thought at first too. I was like, "Is he Amish?" And I was like, "No, we were like outside of like there is an Amish community, or Mennonite community or something like that in those areas, but no, he was not within that." And I was like, "Holy smoke! I have to wait until I'm in my 30s and go to right outside of Philadelphia to actually see that." Like I had never seen that in my entire life.
Oddmother was staring around going, something's really amish.
I was like, "What in the world is going on?"
Something's really Amish around here. That's why I love you. She's funny. Not to crawl out just a little bit more, but the one thing I remember when I was a kid, the first old tractor I ever saw was Big Bud. The first 8-wheeled big tractors, and it said
Mhm.
Big Bud on it. And then I was doing some TikTok research one night. I was just doom scrolling, and then someone brought it up that Big Bud, if you've seen them, you can Google it right now.
Uh-huh.
Big Bud actually was made for Bakersfield alone because of all the because Bakersfield is a drained swamp, and
Right.
it gets really muddy here when it rains, and it just mucks up. And they made that tractor, the big 8-wheel tractor, specifically for this area, and it just branched out from there. And
Right.
there's still the original Big Bud. I showed it to you, right? We were driving on the back roads over here, going out to Los Angeles, and I was like,
Mhm.
it's just wrecked right there in someone's field. I was like, that is the original Big Bud, the original big 8-wheel tractor, and it's beefy looking and just neat looking. If you guys look at it, I love tractors and stuff like that because my dad, and it was one of the coolest things to ever see and ride on when I was a kid.
Oh,
So,
Or we'll
cool.
stop taking comments. Read that one that I
oh
started.
yeah. PJ says, real fast, yeah, everywhere I go, I got to watch out. I'm from the South. One time I did get put in the hospital because I was black in the wrong town. Yeah, oh man, fuck that town.
That's crazy.
That's
Exactly.
terrible.
Screw
You
that
know,
town.
put that down on blast because fuck
Yeah,
them.
put it on blast, dude. Tell me,
Mhm.
bring it up, and I'll put it up here.
Support Dutch farmers.
Support Dutch farmers.
Wouldn't that be Amish?
Amish. The farmers in Europe are no joke, man. When the governments do things wrong to the people in Europe, they will shut down cities and go
Yeah,
out there
I've
with
been
their manure
following that
throwers.
on
They
X.
are tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, enough scrolling off. Back to
All right.
the show.
Okay.
Well, unless
So kind of going back to Corpse Wood directly. So the forest sanctuary was guarded by 2 mastiffs. One was named Beelzebub, and the other one was Archetype.
You just got Akia purring right there. She loves mastiffs.
Now,
Especially
of course,
the
one
one.
was named for a demon, and the other for the H.P. Lovecraft character.
Wait, what was it? One was what was
Beelzebub.
yes.
Beelzebub.
And what was the second
And
Mhm.
Arsanath.
Arsanath?
Arsanath.
That's a that's a
Scroll.
that's a HP Lovecraft name. That's a rad name.
Arsanath. Yeah.
That's a good black metal band name right there,
Isn't
too,
it, though?
man. That's freaking evil.
So, so local legend adds that the pair also summoned a real demon to assist the dogs in guarding the house. Now, when curious, and I find this so funny, because Tryon is like a little bitty spot in the road, like if you blink, like it's gone. But the curious Tryonians began making the drive up Mountain View Road to investigate their strange new neighbors. At the entrance of Corpsewood property, a wooden sign greeted them, warning, "Beware the thing." Some townspeople said that this was evident Scudder had summoned a demon to guard the property. Others
talking about
claimed
wiener.
to have seen robed figures holding seances in the woods. Like there was multiple head explosions at this point. Beware the thing.
You know what happened really was he was just talking about his wiener, and the robed people in the woods were all the porn stars they brought out there the day after, and they were just hung over, literally. They were
So,
uh,
Karan actually answered the question of what town.
Spartansburg, South Carolina, 2010.
Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Oh,
Fuck Spartansburg.
Spartansburg, get your shit together and fuck you.
Yep.
Exactly. All right, so
All right.
fittingly, Scudder and Odom also decorated Corpsewood Manor with various Gothic paraphernalia, including the skulls that Scudder had swiped and a pink gargoyle he had brought with him from his old mansion.
You say cute gargoyle?
It was the normal gargoyle, like you see. It was just painted pink.
Oh, I thought you said cute gargoyle. And I was like, oh, and I guess it could be a cute gargoyle.
Yeah,
if it's
both of you
pink.
guys were on the same level.
It was
right
kind of
there.
cute. It was
You were
kind of
like,
cute.
did you say
gargoyle?
cute gargoyle? And then Odd Mother was like, it was.
It was. It was a cute gargoyle. Now, Scudder himself, like I said earlier, thought of Corpsewood Manor as more like a mausoleum, a tomb requiring care, cleaning, and endless costly repairs. Scudder also fashioned a stained glass window adorned with the prophet known as Baphomet. He imported an important figure in the Church of Satan.
And I've drawn a few.
And more heads exploded in the South.
Just now, when I showed off my Baphomet on my shoulder.
I can do a pentagram with Baphomet in it.
Yeah.
And while Scudder took his Satanism seriously, he didn't worship Satan. Instead, he was more of a staunch atheist, so to speak, who chose to celebrate the base, which is worldly pleasures that he and other church members felt were denied them by other Arabic type religions such as Christianity and Muslim.
Oh,
Abrahamic.
Abrahamic.
There you go. Abrahamic religion.
Aramaic works too.
So,
Aramaic.
So he basically literally took directly to the teachings of Anton LaVey. It basically was like, dude, we're worshiping ourselves. This is more an atheistic religion, which is an oxymoron.
Well, the interesting part about Satanism in general was that, okay, when you're talking about like LaVey, God, my brain is not working.
LaVeyan?
Yeah, when you're talking about like LaVeyan Satanism, it's Satanism in a name of rebellion.
Yeah.
They utilize the name Satan as a means of rebellion because that is like the ultimate rebellion. And so you're not worshiping Satan, though. You're worshiping flesh. You're worshiping life. You're worshiping being able to do whatever the fuck you want, not having to live by specific rules and considering yourself to be damned if you don't.
Can I worship cake?
Vice does.
Sweet.
But seriously, I mean, again, it blows my mind, like knowing more of the backstory with Scudder and Odom. That what I mean, I know North Georgia's really pretty. I get that, and I know that everybody should be able to live where they want to live and live their own life as long as they're not hurting anyone else. But at the time, and again, we've got to look at the context of this historical time period. Again, I'm going to go back to heads were exploding at this point.
I think at the time period, I don't think it mattered how far they were out in the woods. They could have been in the middle of the Badlands in Wyoming, and if people caught wind,
they would have probably ran into the same kind of problem.
People would have flocked to them and went after them, no matter where they were at. I don't think it really mattered. I mean, again, Kern County, it was the birthplace of the Satanic Panic, and you would never think it would have happened here, but it happened. It straight up happened.
Yeah.
Oh, Real Sven says, your background needs a stroke warning, and I was no. That's the purpose, Sven. It's
Look underneath it. Look at the very bottom.
warnings are for pussies. Joking.
I'm about to catch a ban for that one, but I don't give a flying fuck.
All right, so Scudder and Odom, they did like to invite guests over for what they would consider like wild sex parties in the pink room, which was filled
in the
wild
working
sex,
class.
which
It's
was
whips,
filled,
chains, and dip.
it was filled with mattresses, candles, whips, chains, and even a logbook listing guests' sexual predilection. So whatever they were into.
Can I just bring this up too real fast? What is it with these places and logbooks? All these groups are like, and I'm not comparing
Epstein Island.
Epstein Island. Yeah, I'm not comparing this group of people to pedophiles and stuff like that, but every single sex club, every single place like this, they have a logbook, and I don't get it.
That's like just
Why?
asking for someone to get mad and like unalive you.
Right?
I wonder if Hillary was on that that log.
I don't doubt it.
Uh-oh.
I
Feed
mean,
just stopped right now. Lights
we're
go
about
out.
to get suicided.
All right, so while these acts were reportedly consensual, the pink room parties are the reason that on the night of December 12th, 1982, Corpsewood Manor turned into a bloody murder scene. With Scudder and Odom encouraging all their guests to indulge their every whim in a haze of sex and drugs, things were bound to implode, especially during the time and in this area. Though perhaps no one predicted just how bloody this would end. Among the locals that Scudder and Odom befriended were 17-year-old Kenneth Avery Brock and his roommate, 30-year-old Samuel Tony West. Information is scarce and reports vary, but at least according to Amy Petula's, she's an author, her book, The Corpsewood Manor Murders in North Georgia, Brock may have had several sexual encounters with Scudder at Corpsewood. That's really up for debate. Nobody's really sure. Other accounts claim that Brock had merely gotten permission from Scudder and Odom to hunt on their property, and after befriending them on their sprawling estate, became convinced or believed that they were much wealthier than they actually were. Nonetheless, some kind of relationship between Brock and West and Scudder and Odom was struck. And according to the author, Amy Petula, West strongly objected to any kind of sexual activity with the older couple, though Brock may have invited it. He may have also convinced Brock that he had been taken advantage of by Scudder. Again, whether Brock had actually been taken advantage of remains unclear. Nevertheless, Brock and West decided to return to Corpsewood to rob Scudder and Odom. So it started out as a robbery. Yeah.
That seems to be the thing. They do something maliciously simply because they want to take things, and then they just go later. I mean, I'm not sure what they're later on, but I'm assuming that when they probably got caught or something like that, they're like, oh, we did this because they were Satanists and they were sacrificing virgins and having sex with, being.
Oh, they were all kind of at the time, like right after the murders happened. Because they honestly, to be honest with you, unless you were like within certain circles, I would imagine a lot of this, like we didn't really, at least from my standpoint of hearing from like certain family members and things like that, there wasn't a whole lot known, at least in the Somerville section, which was a little east of Ryan, of exactly what was going on up there until kind of after the fact. And I mean like soon after the fact.
Yeah. So, are we done, or is that?
No. I just didn't know if you wanted to bring. I see that Nadine's.
Oh, Nadine. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I started.
Okay.
She's like, well, why are there logbooks at funerals? Right. Who's next for the lottery?
What do we get? Like an entry ticket or something? So there's gonna be a drawing at the end. I don't know.
Don't catch the bouquet
So
at a funeral. Just let it drop to the ground and walk away.
all
No,
right,
we're not morbid at all.
so Brock and West with two teenagers named Joey Wells and Teresa Hudgens, along for a ride, headed to Corpsewood Manor on December 12th, 1982, with guns in tow. Initially, the four guests acted as if they were just there to hang out and accepted Scudder's offer of homemade wine, as well as a potent huffing mixture of varnish, paint thinner, and other chemicals. Because he was a chemist. At some point during this drug-fueled haze, Brock got down to business, retrieving a rifle from the car and promptly shooting Odom and the two dogs. Then Brock and West did all they could to force Scudder to give up whatever money they had or he had.
Yeah.
What Brock and West hadn't realized was that there was no riches. They weren't rich. There was no money. And there was nothing really hiding in the house of any kind that would be like something that you would consider like monetary. You know what I'm saying? Like, right.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a lot of cool shit. Don't get me wrong. And we'll kind of talk about that in a minute, but not anything you could take to the pawn shop or to the bank. You know, there really wasn't anything to rob.
Nothing. It's nothing in there that would any pawn shop over there probably would take, especially being the Bible Belt and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. They'd be like, "This come from the devil worshippers of all the hills."
You're gonna have to take that stuff over to California.
You gotta take that stuff back. It's hurt. Now they when they did eventually accept the fact, they just basically wound up shooting Scudder 5 times in the head, and took what little bit of values were laying around and fled the scene. Now I do have kind of an in-depth because what really happened with this when it happened, the two other people that were there, they didn't really know what was going on at the time. Now a friend of Odom and Scudder's wound up just kind of a little in-depth information on it. They wound up calling the police to say that they had found bullet holes in the front door at Corpsewood Manor, launching the murder investigation. And 3 days later, Sheriff Gary McConnell received another call. It was that teenage girl and her boyfriend, and they wanted to talk. Now, earlier that week, they said the boyfriend's uncle picked them up after their date. He brought them with him, which would have been the 30-year-old, brought them with him and his roommate. While the couple sat in the back seat, 30-year-old Samuel Tony West and 17-year-old Kenneth Avery Brock discussed their plans for the night. They invited the couple to visit the devil worshippers in the woods, is how they kind of phrased that. And so they went to Corpsewood and to that brick tower home. They did wind up drinking the wine, and some of them did huff paint thinner, which apparently Brock had done a lot of that. And that's when Brock and West decided to act out their plan and that they had concocted earlier. And that's when Brock went downstairs and came back with the 22 Remington Speedmaster.
Man, I remember that back in the 80s. That was a big thing,
Yeah.
huffing paint and chemicals and stuff like that. That I remember the drug classes, the DARE program, and that was like one of the things the number one thing they talked about because everyone had access to it. It just the huffing paint and how crazy people got on it too. It was insane.
Well, and here around here, sometimes you'll still run across puffers.
Yeah, I promise you guys right now, this gray in my beard is gray in my beard. It is not silver chrome Krylon paint.
Oh, you gotta look for the paint on the fingernails and like around here, especially black.
If my mustache
I think black
turned,
got like the strongest fumes or something.
That's what I heard.
What I heard.
I don't know what you're talking. I don't know. I never did it. I just heard about it.
I just heard about it. So what they at first, so Scudder at first didn't think they were serious and basically laughed them off. But that was until Brock pressed the knife against his throat, and then he cut up strips of bed sheets and bound Scudder's ankles and wrists. And then he balled up some more strips and shoved them in Scudder's mouth. As Wes held Scudder's hostage, Brock went downstairs to the kitchen where he shot Odom and the couple's 2 English Mastiffs.
Aw,
I know.
evil.
I bet they were cute little puppies
You're trying
too.
to say these Satanists were evil, and look how terrible these people are.
Well, and that's how it always seems to play out, you know?
Oh yeah, the most
It's the ones accusing that are usually the worst.
Absolutely.
these everything they did here was consensual. Like the sex parties, everything was consensual. Everything was legal. Everything that they did was legal. It doesn't matter what your feelings are on this. If you think they are evil, and then you go over there and you commit the atrocious acts.
What I don't
Yeah.
understand is
You actually wind up breaking the law.
why does anybody give a flying fuck about what anyone else does with their own genitals?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's with anything, you know, and the way I look at it, I don't care what you do as long as you don't make a victim of someone. You can drive a car and keep me or my family safe when you're on the road, and you treat people well. All the other stuff is just noise I don't need to know about.
Yes. Not our business. Do you?
Yeah. Yeah. You do you, boo.
Say hi real fast to Arcane Horror. Hello everyone. And then they say
Hello.
I think these are lyrics. Wild sex in the working class after 5, it's gas, wild sex. In the working class, counting minutes, gonna get
That's
home
Oingo
fast.
Boingo.
Oh, it is.
Oh, cool.
Oh, I know.
I wonder
who
if they were
Arcane
doing
Horror
that up into Pink Room.
Yeah, that would be Oingo Boingo.
Nadine, where are we at? Oh, Roots Bleed Red is here. Who are those guys?
Who the fuck is that?
Those are some douchey 2 people. I'll tell you that right now. Nadine, I'm just making model airplanes, right? And I never made model airplanes in my garage with everything closed up. Not one bit. Not the dogs, right? That is like
I know.
I'm sorry. I when it comes to animal cruelty, I cannot watch any of those videos, and I report the shit out of them. I ever see them or whatnot. It's terrible. I cannot watch animals getting hurt or anything like that.
I'm that way with animals and children.
Arcane Horror. Don't touch my dogs, and you will survive the encounter.
Exactly, right?
Genital.
so-
Hi. Sorry.
So after Brock went downstairs, Brock did return to the tower, and he and Wes led Scudder through the kitchen to the living room, and they threw him on the couch, removing his gag and demanding money. Scudder said he didn't have anything. You know, he didn't have any. And this is the point where he saw Odom shot to death on the floor, which had to have been just absolutely devastating. He stood up from the couch, his ankles still bound together. Wes told him to stop, but Scudder shuffled across the room towards Odom and stated, "I asked for this." Nobody in the room understood what he meant at the time, but Wes then opened fire, blowing Scudder into the bookcase, killing him. And then Wes stood in the living room, stiff, while Brock ran up and down the stairs, ripping out desk drawers and looking for money, finding none, and being, pretty upset about it. The couple sat together on a chair, watching as Brock and Wes piled silver candelabras, a gold-plated dagger, a leather jacket, a bracelet, and some cut glass, and a radio into the pillowcase. So these poor guys were killed over silver candelabra, a gold-plated dagger, a leather jacket, a bracelet, some cut glass, and a radio.
It's insane.
Super sad.
There's a Kit Kat right there.
I'm giggling about the candelabra because my brain was like stained glass window candelabra, eat my ass like a chupacabra. Show me where it's from.
No,
Show me where it's from.
we're not morbid, not one bit.
Now I gotta watch that when we're done.
You're right.
Stained glass candelabra.
So now they did wind up leaving in Scudder's Jeep, telling the teenagers that if they called the police, Brock and West would kill them too. Now, Brock and West wound up fleeing all the way to Mississippi, where they killed a man named Kirby Phelps as part of a robbery gone wrong on December 15th that year. Afterwards, perhaps feeling remorseful, Brock returned to Georgia and turned himself into the police on December 20th. West did the same thing in Chattanooga, Tennessee on the 25th.
Chattanooga. Sorry.
Chattanooga. Now, eventually, West was found guilty of 2 counts of murder and sentenced to death, while Brock pleaded guilty and received 3 consecutive life terms. With that came the end of the strange and bloody story of Corpsewood Manor murders, but many questions still remain.
All right.
And I'm just going to pop over here. Now, I did want to go over a little something real quick. I know it's getting kind of late. We're going to pop over to the Patron.
Yeah, I got to pee during the intermission.
So let's see.
Oh.
Wait, what, Sven?
Wait. What? His ex killed his cat? Aw.
I guess I need to take a trip out that way,
Yeah.
Mostly to go experience what was it, Gray Area Cafe, but then there's other things I must do.
Gray Area Cafe. What is that?
It's one of the most famous cafes in Amsterdam.
Oh, Kisa's here. Hi, Kisa. E equals MC Vagina. That's a good song too.
Vagina. I want to make love to your vagina.
So just to kind of shorten it up a little bit, because I know we're squished on time. So Bobby Lee Cook did wind up being one of the lawyers that helped to represent Dr. Scudder's estate. And now Bobby Lee Cook, he also represented certain aspects during the Wayne Williams trial, as well as a lot of other kind of high-profile trials. And they do say that Matlock was loosely based on Bobby Lee Cook. So, and he was kind of a neat guy. Now there were several pieces of furniture that were taken out of the house. Bobby Lee Cook wound up, and we found this out like after the fact, but he wound up buying or purchasing the gold covered part, and he would say it would wake him up in the middle of the night playing by itself.
Oh, yeah, there's more. I forgot there's more stuff that we're going to get into in the bonus episode.
Well, and yeah, exactly. So join us for that, because we're going to kind of go into this, and then I have got some vacation recommendations. Since the groundhog did not see a shadow, and we're having an early spring, I figured that the PBDC Collective would give you suggestions for your next vacation.
Oh yeah,
along with reviews.
So I guess that's it for this side of the feed. Guys, go over to what is it, the PBDC Collective Inc. Patreon, right? That's how it comes up, right?
Yep. And there'll be a link on the video we're getting ready to play, because we give everybody a minute to get over there.
Yeah.
And get set up. So yeah. Join us over there on Patreon. Lots of cool stuff. We're going to be talking, like I said, more in depth about this, about some of the haunted items that were retrieved or sold off from that estate. And they're pretty weird. So, along with some other information.
Yep. So there we go, guys. Go over to patreon.com. Go to the PBDC Collective Inc. Patreon. Subscribe for just $1, and you will be able to see.
Well, the dollar is support. It's the $5 tier where you get the expanded.
Oh, I'm sorry, $5, and then you can see the full episode every time on Patreon, plus the bonus stuff, and you won't have to switch over between the platforms. But go over there right now, and I better bring the brand up. Where's it at? Right here, and here we go, guys.
Play a commercial.
Yeah. Here we go, guys.
Head on over.
We'll see you in a minute.